Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over Valorant Patch Notes 7.04. This is a huge patch, which kind of came as a surprise to me. I'm assuming this is going to be after champs and kind of like going into next year and kind of changing up some of the stuff a lot just to both like add a new like thing to the game and then also to make it a bit more balanced. So let's just get right into this. Actually, before that, make sure if you guys enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Helps me out a lot. I'm going to be doing a series where I rebuild every bad team, or maybe not every bad team, but like a lot of teams that need rebuilding in VCT. I'm going to start with the Americas, then I'm going to go to Pacific, then I'm going to go to what's the last league? EMEA. So if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up after champs, after I do like all my champs recap and yearly recap content. So if you guys are interested in that, stick around for that. I don't think I have too much else, so let's get right into this. So we'll start off with Breach. It's Aftershock. Got kind of changed. I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf. I do think his old Aftershock was slightly stronger, but it was about the same as this one. So this should be interesting. I don't know exactly how this is going to work. I think it'll function pretty similar as an ability, but it's better that it does more damage. And then they made the ult cost more, which is definitely a theme in this patch, and I do like. And then on the Brim, they just increased his ult points up to 8. Decent change. Brim ult is very good on specific maps like Fracture and Bind. I don't think it was necessarily a problem, but I think that's what they just kind of want to do. And then Prowler, the time to re-equip gun takes slightly longer. I don't get why they did this. Fade does not need nerfs. If anything, she needs to be buffed. I hope they do that eventually. But then again, I don't think she's that bad. I think they just need to raise in the meta more, and maybe she'll be played a bit more. We'll just have to see with that. And then Gecko, the mosh pit. I don't 10 damage per second before exploding. So is that I don't okay, I looked at this before. I didn't really understand what this meant. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. Um, is that like changing how much damage it does just period or what? And then Wingman HP reduced. Why? Gecko needs buffs, if anything. Maybe his ranked win rate is really high, and I just don't know. And then Thrash's explosion, little makeover, and just makes it a little easier to use, I think. And then Killjoy, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but no real changes, just made the ult cost more, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. But I do think there is a reason for it, and I'll talk about that a bit later. Omen, I again don't understand what this means fully. I think it's just that like you can throw it however far, and it doesn't matter if you're like moving backwards or whatnot. Because I know with Harbor's ult specifically, like if you move backwards and then cast it at the same time, it like doesn't move at all. But if you're running forward and throw it, then it starts moving. So I don't know. Guiding light. All right, and then not a sky. Sorry. Um, this is the one that I didn't read. I probably should have done that. Reduce distance with like can provide info. Changes also helps reduce the amount of time enemies need to worry about her flash. All right. Um, yeah. So onto the actual changes. I don't know. I don't know why I bothered reading that, but the max duration while casting reduced by a half second. So that's going to be like when you throw out the flash, how long until it pops. So this kind of just makes it harder to get good info deep in areas on the map, which is a very good change. They reduced the HP on the dog, thank God. I think it's only 2 shots now with the Vandal. I might be wrong. Um, you can correct me on that if you want. And then the Seekers, 7 to 8, another ult going up in charge. I genuinely think Seeker should be a 9-point ult. It's one of my favorite ults to use in the game. It's just so good, especially in ranked. Um, People just don't break it in that. And then the Seeker health thank God as well. This one was a bit more annoying because it was like I think that this was 4 bullets with a Vandal and this is 3, so that is actually a fairly large change. And then another change that I just don't understand. Um, why are we nerfing Sova? I have the pick rates pulled up right here from champs. He is not an issue on any map. Like even Ascent, some teams aren't playing him, which is kind of crazy. Um, they're like opting into Sky, so I think Sky should even catch even bigger nerfs. And Sova shouldn't catch any. Personally, I think if they were gonna nerf him, I think they probably should have just increased the ult points, like they have done from I think it's 8 right now to 9. And then Viper Pit, I would expect more nerfs in the future to Viper, to kind of go along with what I was talking about with Killjoy, or what I will talk about with Killjoy. Um, but yeah, this is a decent change. Viper ult is really annoying. Sometimes a round winning ult. And then Astra. So this was an interesting thing. I don't know. I think this is. I don't get what they mean by gravity well will be Astra's tool for controlling space, and Nova Pulse will be for quickly affecting an area. This word is interesting. I think they mean taking control of a space, and then Astra, then the suck will be for keeping control. But the startup time increased, which wait, I'm so confused. Is this did they reduce the duration of the suck? Why did they nerf it? I thought these were buffs actually when I first looked at it. Now the more I'm thinking about it, this is not, and now I'm sad. Why are they nerfing Astra? She's not good in rank. She's like what? Not even 30% pick rate in pro play. Like these should be the agents catching nerfs. I don't know why they're not nerfing Raze, but whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. This was weird. They buffed the stun in the wall, so you can't like hear through the wall at all now, which is I think a good change. I think it was kind of weird that you could barely hear through it. Um, and yeah, stun just activates quicker. Suck activates slower, which is annoying. And then I don't know what this means. Again, tell me in the comments. Don't really know. And then the big one, Jett. Um, I read this before. Yeah, so our goal with these changes is further sharpening Jett as the aggressive, high precision duelist by increasing intentionally the intentionally. That's not correct. I don't think intentionally of her ability usage. Intentionality. Oh, I can't read. Um, of her ability usage and power windows. So yeah, I think this paragraph just we want to maintain her ability to like a dash in basically, but reduce like her being able to op and dash out pretty much. So they made the dash last time. So like when you pop it, it used to last 12 seconds before it went away. Now it's 7.5. Um, and then it takes longer to like when you press the button to be able to dash. So I think that's a good change. Just makes it less possible for Jets to op. I do think it is a little concerning that Chamber's going to be the only op agent in the game now. I do think this will stop Jett from being an op agent and more of an entry agent, which is going to be an issue, especially if they don't nerf Raze, because then Raze will just be the entry agent, and then Sova's going to get fucked because he got nerfed, and Fade's going to come back because Raze is in the meta and Sova got nerfed. Um, and then you're just going to have an endless cycle of just a set of 3 agents being in the meta every time, with it being um, Raze, Chamber, Fade, and then Sova, Jett, Killjoy, which is kind of stupid. And then they reduce the time the smokes are up. I think that's completely fair. Except I don't know. I wouldn't do this change. This one was kind of weird. Like they don't want Jett to dash into smokes. Like I get putting the smoke down and then like walking through the smoke and shooting somebody. That was stupid. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like this change. But everything else about it, like the time is fine because you're really only just dashing into smokes, and then you can still like probably spam off fade haunts and sova darts and shit through the smoke. Updraft they reduced it to one, and that's fine. Updraft was really annoying. I mean, Osboss used it or has used it insane. I don't know how to say that, like insanely. Um, he's probably the best in the world at doing that, just getting away while using updrafts and not having to use his dash. Um, and yeah, I just don't think they want that in the game, which is good. And then the ult increased from 7 to 8 points, um, which is yeah, not crazy. I think they probably should have done that a while ago. And then what I was talking about with Sentinels earlier with Killjoy, um, I think there was a good reason they didn't nerf Killjoy more in this one. I think they just want to save it for a separate patch. Like, if you remember, they did a whole initiator patch in one patch. They did a whole smokes patch. I specifically remember that one, where they nerfed Astra, buffed Omen, buffed Brimstone, and then they made a couple changes after that. I think they will do that with the Sentinel class in the next like big patch. I think they should also. I don't know. I'll talk about that after. Um, like they need to buff Chamber Cipher, really buff Deadlock. Like Deadlock, I don't know if it'll let me. Has not been played in Champions yet. I hate that you have to like click on the side of this for VLR like this. Like I'm just spam clicking here, and it moves it over. But not complaining about VLR right now. I'm complaining about the Sentinel class. I don't know exactly what they would buff with every agent. With Chamber, what I kind of want to happen is for his trip to stay up after he dies, because that was a feature that Killjoy and Cypher had at the beginning of the game. And if you want Chamber to be a more aggressive Sentinel, I think that could help. Obviously keep the range on the trip and all that kind of stuff. Cypher, I don't know, just add slow cages back. Don't make them affect your teammates. I don't really know. Um, I think they could use with like a bit more Astro buffs, a bit more Gecko buffs. Um, maybe make Sova a little bit stronger. Like just revert this change pretty much. I don't know. And then undo this. I think. I think this is stupid. Like they're like, oh, they don't use the stun enough. Then make the stun good. Don't nerf the suck, man. Astra doesn't need to be nerfed. The suck is the entire point of playing Astra. But yeah, I don't know. I think overall these changes are very good, and I think they'll just make slight tweaks over the offseason, continuously and until they find a point that they feel good with, and I think that's a good thing. This doesn't have to be doing everything in one patch. They're probably still figuring out exactly how they want to nerf the Sentinel class. Also, Viper needs a nerf. That's one thing I forgot. That I don't know, like nerf the decay. Hell, put Viper back to where she was before she got the big decay buff, like before the Viper Astra meta, and I still think teams would play her, just not as much. Um, but yeah, let me guys know what you think of the patch in the comments below. Um, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say, so I'll see you guys in the next one for my champs recap. And yeah, peace.